How we doing? You want?
So we are back. The feed is back up and running. We did have a minor difficulty here. As you can tell, this is a production. We are putting on a professional tournament, and a lot of lighting is used that caused the power to go out. We had a bit of a power surge, so extension cords are run to make sure that won't happen again. But yeah, that no input signal. We're just gonna change it up a little bit, get everything back up and running to the way it should be. The players are still off, kind of running the restroom, getting their bearings, everything. So, yeah, call your friends, text them, Facebook them, let them know we will be back up and running shortly to conclude the Tournament of Champions.
So, as a player, what do you think? What do you do during this? Do you go find a board? Do you sit down? Do you grab a drink?
Probably a little bit of all of the above. I'm certainly going to make my best educated guess on how long this is probably going to take. So I'm going to get the restroom out of the way. I'm going to get the drink out of the way. I'm going to do all of that stuff. And then I'm going to work my way to warming up again about 5 to 10 minutes before I think we're going to start.
Yeah, yep. I like that setup, and I think that's exactly what these girls are going to do. Once we did have everything kind of come back, and we're getting very close, all of them were like, all right, tell us when we got about 5-10 minutes. We'll go over. We'll go to the restroom, and you see them starting to trickle back in here to warm up for the second leg in the women's final, in the very last leg.
Yeah, this certainly seems like it shouldn't be that big of a deal, the power surging, but the amount of computers and stuff that's running to make this thing happen, it truly is a production, folks. So we do apologize that it happened, but we are close to being back up and running. The ladies are still getting warmed up. We did succeed with finishing out the first game there. Julie and Lisa did take it, so they do have a 1-0 lead in the first set of the final. All of the men are still waiting. They will finish upon the conclusion of the women's final.
Yes, there are no matches going on right now. The men are being held from the top 5.
Yes, they're in the loser takes 5 position.
Yep. So Bill Schallenberger and Mike Tritt versus Mike Maloney and Randy Morris will be the next match you see after this women's final. and we will just progress then through the losers bracket.
The first couple are going to be really quick, as they are third or the elimination bracket matches. So it will be one game of 701 there. We do, if you haven't checked Challenge lately, Eric Blackledge did and Rick Smith, or I'm sorry, if you haven't checked CompuSport lately, sorry about that. Eric Blackledge and Rick Smith did beat Brandon Smith and James Hancock, so they will be waiting in the 2-loss bracket.
And again, we are seeing the girls start to trickle in here. They will continue to warm up, try to keep that arm warm. You see Holly taking a drink of the aiming juice there to try to stay hydrated during this very important final. And just to recap, Mary and Holly have won the winners bracket. And here we go.
Oh, we're back off and running, guys. So Holly Thompson with the start here in this game of cricket starts with 420s. I really hope that this does not affect these ladies, because we were in for a heck of a final.
Right off the bat, it doesn't appear that there's any griping or any residual complaints from the players. But really, I think all the girls knew that this was kind of out of everybody's hands. It wasn't somebody didn't unplug something, somebody didn't step on a breaker or something like that. This was back at the actual box.
Yeah, and this might have done Holly and Mary a favor, because they've come out firing with a 4 mark and a 5 mark, and Julie only a 2 mark. But Lisa Yee, her longtime partner, does pick her up with a 4 mark on the 17s. So here we see Holly, and she's really been down to business the whole time. We even went out there for a little bit while they were still trying to get everything up and running, and Holly continued to throw, not giving away any time. She was making sure that she was going to be ready when these boards were back up and running.
And we see she is continuing on at the level she was playing before. Mary coming back to the board, who I thought might be affected the most at the beginning. She didn't seem to get as many warm-up darts as maybe we've seen previous with the everybody miking her up. But now, after this break, she definitely got some more darts in, which may not bode well for Lisa and Julie.
Absolutely. So Lisa, sitting on a 4-0, will come to the board, trailing by 30 points, has the 17 to score on, hits a single with the first start, misses the second one, and a single with the last one. So a 4-point lead for Lisa.
Holly about to throw. Holly by far the newest player of these 4. I spoke with her briefly during the power outage, and Holly's only been playing for about 3 years. She plays electronic darts exclusively, but has some great aspirations, and I think she's going to attain them.
Yeah, and here comes Julie straight into the 17 with the first 2.
She's a beast.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Stacy, have you ever had anything quite that chaotic happen at a time this important?
No, definitely not with this kind of money on the line. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I certainly haven't either. I don't know how I could respond to that. I would try to stay calm and keep warming up, but that's a lot to deal with.
It's got to play on your nerves, because it gives you that much more time to think about what can go wrong.
Here we see Lisa struggling a little bit. Does end up finding the 17. Holly addresses the board. Does have the lead as she comes up here. Going to try to take away that 17. Does end up whacking that last
Big
one.
third dart, yeah.
Power close on the 17.
Absolutely.
Oh, and by the way, it's Julie Weger, and I was asked to let you know.
Okay.
Although I've been calling her Julie Wedger for about 10 years. She never corrected me until today.
So we see Julie Weger there close that 18. Mary's going to quickly... Oh, I thought she was going to go ahead and close that. She only finds one and then scores some more points to extend this lead in the second leg. And again, just to recap, Holly and Mary do have the queen seat. They are the ones that need to lose 3 times. Lisa and Julie do only have 1 loss, so they do have a loss to give, technically. But up a leg, they're going to want to try to put in as much as possible to make it not this leg here.
I got a feeling that Holly and Mary are going to disagree with you that they need to lose 3 times. I'm pretty sure they're not going to want to lose at all.
And the way Holly is throwing, it's going to be really, really tough to wrestle that many legs away from these girls.
Well, really, Holly only averaged in the 3-0. It's Mary with the big 4-0 average so far in this leg that's really keeping these guys afloat. Lisa Yee, the real low average there with 1.75, will try to snap out of it on her next shot.
I think Holly's average is a little bit low. She had a couple of triples that counted for 2 marks there.
Yeah, she power closed a couple of times.
She sure did.
Yeah, Lisa finally going to find a triple. Puts in 5 marks on the 16s to pull within 2 points of Mary Ferguson and Holly Thompson.
So Holly Thompson only up 2 points. We see her do what we've seen all weekend here, throwing at the number next to the number that she needs to close to try to score those points, even though she does have the larger 20 to score on. Julie just a bit off put after that first dart sails high. Oh, an unlucky turn from her. Doesn't really make Holly pay for her poor visit.
Yeah, a real slack turn there from Julie. Don't see that very often. So Mary going to want to keep the momentum here with a 5-point lead. Going to increase that. Only hits 2 singles, though, so not really a punishment there by Mary.
I think I might have taken my first dart at the trip 16 on Mary's last shot, just to maybe shut it down.
Yeah, certainly with 2 numbers. The only way Julie and Lisa are going to come back in this game is to extend it. So now that you have the lead, you do afford yourself the chance to take a couple of darts at the close. And that's exactly right. I think Holly threw that first one to triple 16, missed, switched right back to the 19s for 4 of them. Beautiful shot to take a 103-point lead.
And Julie's back up trying to even score up.
See the 2 partners there conversing. I'm assuming a little strategy talk here to see what Mary's strategy is going to be.
Little blow of the dart there by Mary, as if she were throwing some dice, wishing them luck.
You'll see that all the time. She's been doing it for years.
I can't tell. Does she throw a spinner flight? Is that what that is? She's making the flight spin by blowing on it.
Oh, I couldn't tell you that. I'm not certain.
So Lisa here trying to tag those 16s to try to get those points back. She does do it with that final dart. Gets 48 more points for her team. And Holly Thompson going to come to the board.
Holly, I got to admit, I'm very impressed with her. She goes from smiling and laughing all the way at the back, and on the walk to the line, her face goes from laughter to stone cold killer. She only comes up with a 2 mark, but kind of impressive that she could change that quickly. But here comes Julie. That's a killer. Trip 16, CO 19, triple 20 for the close. Julie Weegar, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, big shot there. Sending Mary over to the 15s to try to mount this comeback now on the smallest number on the board. Only manages 2. Now, Lisa's been struggling in this leg, so...
she's had a couple of big shots, but other than that, a lot of really poor darts. That one's not poor, just barely missing, though. Second dart, however, not very good. Third dart, not that good. So 1 mark for Lisa.
Surprised not to see her pull the ripcord there and head back over to the 16s after those first 2 darts. And Holly really going to make her pay.
Oh, very close to a 9 mark.
Make her pay for it.
She did manage a pile of 15s, so she does maintain a 59-point lead. Julie's going to look at the 16, hits a single with the first, single with the second, contemplating that 15, can't make up her mind, finally decides on something, and misses the triple 16 into the triple 8.
So here we have Mary stepping up here with the point lead.
Yeah, these 16s are going bye-bye.
They have played a pretty point-centric game so far, but here we see Mary really trying to throw over there. Very frustrated with that second dart. I think it got away from her. She tosses the dart up in disgust.
Wow.
That was a horrible time for a blank. Although I don't know that there's a good time.
Yeah. Holly joins in on the laughter back there. She knows that was a big miss, but trying to cheer her partner up. Lisa going to try to pick her partner up with a 2 mark there. So Holly coming to the board, needs a 15 to get the point lead. Now she might take a shot at the 16. Does, but just 1 hole out.
Can tell just how much that last one meant to her. Grabs her forehead as it flies into the 7. Uyghur here definitely going to take the point lead. Oh, and definitely going to take the 15. A devastating dart there. Can't argue with the spot, honestly. The way this leg has been going back and forth. Mary really, really going to want to turn up the heat on these bullseyes. And she's in there straight away.
Yeah, that's exactly what she's doing. Oh, what a gutsy dart there on the 3rd. Had she hit that, that would have been huge.
Absolutely. Having 3 in the board already, I would have liked to have seen her stay on that bullseye to take that lead. But, man, if that 16 would have went in, it would have been a big payoff.
I think she might know Lisa a little better than we do, because Lisa going right after that 16 does find the triple at the last dart to make that the win with 20 rounds. So she certainly should have stayed on the bullseye there. But a double bull still wouldn't have won it because Lisa Yee and Julie up by 55 points. So Julie and Lisa do take a 2-0 lead. So they win the first set. That giving Holly and Mary their first loss of this event. Now both teams, 1 loss. We remain with the or actually it does change now. Rather than a freeze rule 501, we will be playing 501 stacked cricket choice in the 3rd game. I think the ladies are trying to hash that out, figure out what the deal is. They'll have a laugh about it. High five. They got the first one. So I think they have flipped. Julie will show us a cork first. The way she's playing, I got to imagine it'll be a bullseye. As it is, 2 holes in. So Holly going to want to try to better that dart and get her and her partner the start. I think she may have tied it.
Throw again.
Yeah, either Holly got it or that's a tie. I'm not quite sure. Oh, it looks like she's calling Julie up there to look at it because she does have it by 1 hole. So Holly Thompson will start us out here in the first game of the 2nd set. Both teams 1 loss. We will be playing 501 stacked cricket, and the 3rd game is choice.
So now both these teams with 1 loss. Shouldn't really change much of the mentality here, but it does change the game. Holly really able to put in a lot more work on these 501 legs.
Yeah, I mean, it's really an all or nothing thing out of Holly right now, but I think it's just a matter of focus. Julie, however, the consummate professional, always focused, plays so well. Completely steady for Julie.
Mary still not able to find that bullseye. You can see the frustration. Mary, again, going to have her prize money doubled. She's guaranteed at least $10,000. If her and Holly are able to hold on here and win this match, she will win a cool $20,000.
Cool, that's a nice cold $20,000.
Here we see Lisa find 2 bullseyes and really stamp some aggression on this leg.
Yeah, the difference in this leg so far is the poor shot by Mary. I'm sure she's going to put that right on her next turn, but that's only if these ladies don't run away with it, because they are not slowing down.
Julie is 2 darts away from that from a finish. Ooh, and
unlucky third.
catches the 6. Now Mary definitely going to want to put it right after a poor start here to this leg.
P-hole.
Hey, we got another call. P-hole it is.
Oh, Mary getting Fergalicious with it. A hat trick and a P-hole to leave 95 for her partner, Holly Thompson. Hey, I think it's a little high, but that could be another P-hole.
Lisa changing up, trying to give her partner a 50 finish. Smart dart.
So Holly with 95 to do goes bullseye with the first one. Misses into the 2 on the second dart.
I think a little more focus and just a couple more moments to get into that triple 15.
Yeah, costly mistake. I don't think she realized what the dart hit before she had already made up the mind what she was throwing at. So Julie now coming to the board needing 82. We'll need 1 bullseye and 2 16s. Misses into the 15, so now 67. Single 17, dead center, bullseye. Oh,
falls into
quite.
that one.
This is where it really gets down to being the nervy type game.
I'm going to go ahead and put it on it. No way Mary misses this 32 after that hat trick last time. Money in the bank. Count
There
it.
she
Awful close to
is.
that double.
Count it,
And,
count
yeah,
it.
she knew she was close to that double. Little eye roll there from her.
So Holly does have to set up the board. Mary having no part of that. But Julie and Lisa will have the start here in game 2. We will be playing cricket.
Well, if you're going to have to start second with a lot of money on the line, I'd rather do it in cricket. Use some strategy and try to get back into the game and not lose the initial disadvantage you have by going second.
Absolutely.
There, Julie got her third dart in. I was a little surprised at those first 2, but she stayed on it, stayed smooth, hit that third one.
So here's Holly loading up that 19. Ends up coming away with 38 points. And Lisa, a little bit of a slack cricket leg the last time. But she's right back in that triple.
Yeah, Lisa just floats those darts up at the 20 for a 4 mark. So Mary does come back with a 9 mark on the 19, or excuse me, a 5 mark on the 19s for a 53-point lead. Julie going to have to go back at that 20. Hits 3 solid to take a 7-point lead back, but Holly Thompson coming to the board with a 5-0 average. Her and her partner both averaging 5-0 here early in this game. Not going to keep a 5-0. However, it's only going to drop to a 4-5 for Holly Thompson. So a 69-point lead. Lisa Yee's going to come to the board needing lots of 20s. At least 4, in fact. Oh, a big bounce out triple for Lisa there. She follows it with another single. So a ton out of Lisa on the 20s. Giving her partner again a 31-point lead. But Mary Ferguson going to blow off the dust on those darts and bring out some triples. No triples for Mary. So just 1 single. Now trailing by 12 points. So Julie Weger will step to the board with a chance to close that 19.
And she's really proven to be devastating in these situations.
As she is again. 3 solid darts there.
Here we have Holly switching straight over to that 17. Not even minding that 18.
Yeah, once again we see a player that just doesn't want to throw at the 18s. It's really starting to become obvious that players like to throw at numbers 2 away and not the 18.
Lisa putting in work on that 20 before going down and catching a 17.
So old Fergie-licious Ferguson, Mary here gonna have to put in a lot of 17s. I've got faith in her. 2 singles just outside the triple there. A 3rd single, wow. I'm very surprised. Mary, 3 very well thrown darts.
You see Holly back there basically telling her partner, I don't know that you can throw them any different.
Yeah, that was just completely unlucky. Stick with it, kid.
So Holly has to go to the 18s now. Falls just a bit short. And into that 18. Oh, and a single for 18 more points. I didn't think she put any bad darts on there. I wonder why she's worried about that one.
She may just like the 17 more. I think she's probably just more comfortable and thinks that she's going to hit more marks on it. But Lisa making a mistake here, throwing at the 18s. I think she would have been better served trying for score to extend that game with the better number. Mary now a big opportunity if she can come up big with the 18 and the 20.
Oh, and again we see Mary falling short.
We do have to remember these ladies are playing for a lot of money. I understand the nerves. I've never been in this situation, but I got to admit I probably would not be able to handle it.
So Julie Weger does take the point lead back, up by 48 points. So a triple 18 will allow Holly to take the lead. She comes away with 72, so up 24 now. Lisa Yee's going to come to the board. Need at least 220, so if that first treble goes in, she does not get it, does find a second single, and I think wisely stays there.
Yeah, Lisa really steady up until that point. Only comes away with 220s to take a 16-point lead. So now Mary will come back to the board needing 118 for a 2-point lead and 3 20s.
Mary kind of struggling on this leg.
I think the trip 20 is the correct shot, but she trips the 18 instead for a 56-point lead. Mary Ferguson. Holly throws her hands up. Hallelujah. Here we go.
The only problem is one triple from Uyghur here, and she's going to get a whack at that 18.
Not going to happen, though. 2 singles. Same thing her partner Lisa did on her last turn. So Holly Thompson will step to the board for the first time in a couple of rounds with the point lead. Going to extend that with the first dart. Throws it to 20, hits a single, and trips it with the last. The 70-point lead and the 18s. A huge pile of marks there and an over close. A power close on Holly Thompson.
Yeah.
Oh, but Lisa not faded. She's going to follow at 7/16 to pull back within 6.
Yeah, a great follow with Mary, the one who's kind of struggling in this leg, to put the pressure back on her. I'd like to see her start on those 18s, and that's exactly what she's going to do. She's in there straight away. See her talking to herself, trying to talk them into those triples. Was only able to sweet talk one of them, but that'll be good enough.
I don't believe we've seen this yet in this match, but Julie Weger does have the lowest average of all 4 of these ladies, but that's about to change because she throws 7/16 to pull her average all the way up to a 3.29, but the 4-5 of Holly coming up next. Ooh, and only a 2 mark, so now just a 2-point lead for Holly Thompson and Mary Ferguson as Lisa Yee sets up ready to pounce on that 16. Triple with the first dart, needs 2 18s to close, gets a single with her second dart, and a single with the third dart. A very clutch shot out of Lisa Yee.
Holly and Mary really looking like they were going to take this leg and take this set, but now Lisa and Julie have really wrestled it back away. But Mary's not done. She's going to pull back at least 30 points there. As Uyghur comes to the board, I can only imagine she's going to take that 15 away, as that's what's really hurting them right now. And she does in 2 darts. Another 16. Great shot. Holly coming to the board. Very good on the bullseyes. So I expect to see big things out of her here. She does find that double and does score 25 points.
Yeah, big things it is. I kind of was hoping after the first 2 darts she would take the shot that her partner did in the last match where she shot at the 16 down by just a little bit of score. Because had she done that and tripped it, Mary would be coming up only needing 2 bulls if Lisa did not hit the 3 bulls. But Lisa gonna play it smart and pile on those 16s.
Yeah, really, really a smart shot. Does find 64 points. So again, Mary's going to come to the board needing at least 3 bullseyes before she gets a whack at that 16.
If I were Mary, I probably would have thrown at the 16s again, but she comes away with 1 bull. I think 3 16s there. Make the other player hit 3 bulls. If she doesn't, you've got Holly Thompson coming back needing 3 bulls. Oh, but Julie not going to mess around. 3 bulls and 2 darts. Dunsky, stamp it. 1 all. We're going to go to a third game.
What's that third leg going to be?
Well, it all depends on who wins the cork and what they decide to do, because the winner of the cork will have the choice of going first or picking the game. So Holly does hit a single bull. Julie going to need a slightly better single bull. Does not hit a bull at all, just outside. So Holly and Mary will now decide what they want to do. Most likely, going to say go first. Not sure what that was out of Mary, but Julie's having none of it.
I don't know that Mary actually audibly said anything. I think Julie just kind of understood to go up there and set up the game.
Fair enough. So we will see what Julie sets up. It does look like we are playing cricket. Holly and Mary do have the start. Again, it is tied up 1 all. Both of these players have both of these teams do have 1 loss. And Holly Thompson
one nice start.
180 to start the game. Can't get no better than that, folks. No matter what Julie Weegar does on this shot, her team will be trailing after 3 darts. But she's going to put a dent in it with 7 19s. Great shot by Julie Weegar.
Absolutely.
Darts right out of the gate.
Yeah, not to be outdone. Weegar definitely loading up that 19. Mary, some big shoes to follow here.
Yeah, so far on that board, we have a 9-0 and a 7-0. That is top darts.
Oh, and Mary, again, only coming away from the board with a single mark. Lisa, though, very focused here. Going to try to pound that 19 and take that point lead back. Ooh, and an unlucky bounce out on that last one. It did look like a 3. I don't know that the board registered that one incorrectly. That looked good. Holly looking robotic up there on the 20.
Yeah, I was starting to wonder if she was ever going to miss, and then she did.
And just a reminder to everybody, if you would refresh your browser or in the lower right-hand corner, there's a cog. And normally when you log into YouTube, it will automatically set you at a lower setting. You can turn that up to 1080 HD, which we are streaming in, and that will help sync up your video and audio feeds.
So Mary, only 3 marks through 6 darts, not playing well at all. Her partner, Holly, really holding her in there, but Lisa, a chance here to really pounce. Won't do it, but will take the point lead, a 6-point lead. So Holly Thompson coming back to the board is going to need some 20s. She's been pretty good on them so far. She's going to be good on them again with another 5 mark, averaging 6-0, just like Julie Weegar in this game. It's really a singles match at this point.
Absolutely. Anything bonus from the partners here is going to help. And we see Weegar follow up with a big 95 points to, again, take that lead by 1 point.
Yeah, early on in this leg, it's really shaping up to be whoever's partner hits a big shot is going to make the difference. I wouldn't be surprised if Mary Ferguson didn't do that right now.
Ooh, she puts a good dart on that 20. Oh, and is only going to come away with 3, with really 3 well-thrown darts.
Oh, absolutely. She's had a lot of really close darts. Her average very deceiving, as is Lisa's. I mean, she's had a lot of next-door triples. Oh, but they're not next door. They're in the triple 19 for a pile of 19s.
Yes, sir. Holly, though, averaging a pile, going to walk up here and try to continue that on that 20.
Not going to happen as she doesn't hit a triple. Only 2 marks. So trailing by 15 now. Julie's going to step to the board, take advantage of that 15-point lead, and shut down that 20, I'm sure. Oh, just as I predicted. Took 3, but she got the job done and scored 19 points. Very well done, Julie Weegar.
You win, Dad. Good call there. Mary Ferguson here, going to have to pick a new toy. Goes straight down to that 17. Falls out again into the 2. You can see the frustration. She needs to come up with a big dart here to put some pressure on Lisa Yee to close a number, and she's not going to do it. So Lisa going to be able to come up to the board with a 34-point lead and pretty much have the run of things if she wants it.
Absolutely. Lisa brought her average all the way up to a 3.67, so we had talked about whoever's partner stepped up would be the difference. Lisa's done that. However, it comes back with a flat line. 0 marks, a donut. Cannot believe, following that big 6 mark from the last turn, that's what she did.
Holly here, just on the outside of the triple 18, and Holly cooled off these last two shots, which Weegar is not doing at all. Julie is just going to run through this, probably trip the 19, and she does.
It's kind of dirty sauce.
Here comes Ferguson again, down in points, needs to find a new number, needs to load this 17 up. Oh, and again we see her only come away with 2 marks.
So Lisa comes to the board with a 91-point lead and the 19s, trips the 17, and single and trips the 15 for a 7 mark. Huge shot out of Lisa Yee to really take control of this third game, on the brink of forcing Holly and Mary to their second loss. Holly's going to go down fighting, though, with a big 5 mark on the 16. She tries to pull back in this game.
And you can kind of see the poor play of Mary start to wear on Holly.
Yeah, a little bit. Mary the one with the most to lose here, because all these other players guaranteed 5, playing for 10. Mary guaranteed 10, playing for 20.
But I like it, though. We're getting a lot of the reactions from Holly, but with her back turned to Mary. Once she gets back there, it seems like it's all fun and games, and she's trying to pump up her partner.
Good last there by Mary. Not sure it's going to matter, but Lisa Yee coming to the board, needing 2 bulls. Going to hit a single with the first one and a single with the second one. So game set on the second set there for Julie and Lisa. The triple dip is on. The first 2 go to Julie and Lisa. So 1 loss for one loss for Julie and Lisa. Second loss for Holly and Mary. So if we will play the same format we just played, because the team with the fewest amount of losses does determine the format. That will be 501 stacked cricket, and if a third game is needed, we cork to see who has the choice. So Holly does not win the diddle. This really coming down to a big leg, because if Holly and Mary do lose this set, they're done.
Yeah, they're really fighting for their tournament life now, as they went from Queen of the Hill to almost the bottom of the hill.
Yeah. The triple dip does not feel good ever. I mean, a double dip doesn't feel good. I can't imagine a triple dip. But, yeah, it's not looking good for Holly and Mary.
But
Julie with a big smile on her face. She knows what's about to happen.
She did have a twinkle in her eye, didn't she?
Yeah. I think she's already counting her dollars.
Holly's going to step up here. Been absolutely incredible on the bullseye all day long. And here we see her put in 2 to match Weegar's. And Lisa's going to come up to try to extend that lead and exploit this start. She does find the second dart and the third dart for another low ton. So again, these girls are definitely banging heads. You see Mary focusing, blows on the darts. Don't cool them off. Keep them hot.
They're too hot to handle, Dad. Too hot to handle.
Oh, and unlucky for Mary. Little one-hole-itis there after the bullseye. Uyghur firing right back, loading that thing up.
Yeah, Mary says, give me my money.
Holly, though, I don't think she's going to give up. I think she's just going to keep plugging away here. Oh, that's unfortunate to see. You see the mist start to wear on her.
Yeah, really the first time she's shown a real good sign of negative emotion. Oh, and Lisa not backing down. She wants to get this done right here and now in round 4. Oh! Almost another 12-dart game for these ladies. Very, very respectable.
She does miss very well as she does leave a single dart finish. Mary very unhappy with the way things are going right now. Oh, and again, outside. Mary throws her hands up as if to say, what am I doing? What's going on here? But Julie Uyghur.
Oh, misses next door into the 666, now with 21. Has 2 darts, though. Probably going to go single. Decides to throw outside on the 777. Single 7 to single 14. That's the game. So, now with a one-leg advantage, Julie and Lisa will be throwing for the match.
So Holly here coming to the board, really going to need a big open to kick this leg off, and again extend this match to a deciding leg, and then perhaps to a final leg of 701.
Yeah, if Holly and Mary can manage to win the next 2 legs straight, we will go to 1 game of 701 for all of the marbles. Holly does find the triple with the last dart, a very important triple. Julie, though, playing really good right now. Not so sure it's going to matter.
No, it really comes down to how much Mary can help her, because we know Holly's going to be steady, we know Uyghur's going to be steady, and we know Lisa Yee's going to be steady. So how much can Mary Ferguson fill in the holes here for Holly?
Yeah, we had talked about it before this match started, and who the most pressure was on, because Mary does have the most to lose. However, Holly, playing for Mary's money, because she does have to help her, did not want to let her down. We thought that Holly might have the most pressure. She seems to be handling it a little better than Mary does. Mary really letting that money get to her. Or maybe just struggling. Maybe the money has nothing to do with it. Either way, Mary not playing that well. But there we see Lisa come up with no marks.
Yeah, a window there from Lisa, and Holly is going to take full advantage. Tag that 17 for a big 7 mark. I like seeing an aggressive Holly there to move ahead. Oh, and two 18s, and the door is substantially open now for them to hold here and take this match to a deciding leg. Take this set to a deciding leg. We'll edit that later.
No, we won't. So, Mary does throw a triple with her 3rd dart, comes up big, now averaging a 3-0. Lisa hasn't hit a mark in this match yet, but she's only thrown 3 darts. Guarantee she'll not do that again, as she's in the triple with the 1st dart and the 2nd dart. She's going to make up for that big time with a 9 mark. Pile and a half. Give me those 16, says Lisa.
Look at Holly as if shaking her head like, won't you go away?
I think she was, I like you better when you were blanking.
Holly staying steady on that 20. She did have the lead after the first 2. And here that open wound, the 16. And Uyghur is just going to smash it. A big 7 mark for 112 points. And now Mary not going to be as comfortable at the line. Going to have to fill up that 20. Really putting good darts on this. And finds the final dart.
Yeah, Mary taking a big advantage there. She really needed that last dart. So a 3-number and 28-point advantage for Mary. But Lisa staying on that 16. Wow. She's going to parlay that 9 mark into a 4 mark here on the 16th. I really thought she had that last one as well, but only 4 says the board. So, trailing by 36 points, Holly Thompson will come back to the board, needing a triple 20, hits it, now needing a triple 16, going to stay on it, just a single. So a 4.5 average for Holly Thompson, but the 4.33 of Julie coming up next.
Again, I like seeing the aggression out of Holly here. Kind of has a struggling partner, and really trying to carry her through this match.
Not really struggling too much in this leg, though. A 3.67 is certainly one of the better legs we've seen out of Mary. Problem is, the rest of these girls throwing above a 4.0. 4.33 plays 4.5.
Ooh, and again we see her find that last dart. Big darts from Mary Ferguson here. She's definitely coming out of that slump.
Yeah, Mary said I can average in the 4s too. Here we go. Lisa owning the 16. Yes. She has hit 6 out of 9 darts in the triple 16. That is incredible. So, Holly down 36 points, needs a triple 20. Not going to get it. So, she will maintain a 4-point lead, but Julie will come back to the board.
And Julie Weger has been an assassin on these big shots here. Surprised. Oh, and I thought she might do that, as we've seen her close out the board on the other team multiple times. Here she falls a little bit short, but she goes right back to that 16 and whacks it.
So here comes Mary. Only down 60. She does have the 20, so a triple will tie. Gets it with the second dart. So she actually has a 20-point lead. And another single. So 3 5 marks in a row for Mary Fergalicious Ferguson.
I think Fergalicious has figured out that if the more points she can put in on that 20, the more chances she's going to get for Holly to throw at that 16. But these girls, it must have been in the blackout. Lisa Yee's installed a magnet into that triple 16 and is exploiting it right here.
Yeah, but Holly not leaving that 20. She's going to put in a $140. Huge shot out of Holly Thompson.
What a great match between these 4 women.
Yeah, all 4 of them averaging above a 4.2 now. This is incredible. Those numbers are just going up as Julie Weger follows with the 9 mark. My.
Mary giving props to the opponent there. Again, as if to say, what is going on here?
Yeah, she's throwing a 4.2, and they're losing going first. That is kind of incredible. But she's not going to give up. Ooh, just outside that triple 20 for 2 singles. Does take a 12-point advantage, but Lisa Yee owning the 16, coming back up.
And
I wouldn't leave it if I were her. She doesn't. Triple on the second dart. Ooh, 888 on the third.
So as we enter the 13th round, seeing these girls battle back and forth, when do you start thinking about that round out?
Oh, I think it already has to be in the mind. That's why Holly's not taking any shots at the 16. She knows that these girls are pounding that 16, and she's just going to leave it for them and hope that her 20s prevail.
And we'll think about... or if we remember, they've already won 1 leg, Julie and Lisa, on a round out in this match.
Yeah, and both Mary and Holly seemed a little surprised about it, weren't paying attention to it. Wouldn't have mattered, but still a little surprise to them, so they have to be a little more cognizant of that.
And I think that's now the focus of Julie and Lisa, as we haven't seen them try to go around the board, even though they have gotten some pretty decent point leads with some shots to do that. I think they're both just going to try to load this 16 up.
Yeah.
As I say that, she takes a whack at that 20.
Yeah, Team Short Stack has figured out that they're hitting the triple 16 very well, and they're going to keep doing it at least once every single turn, forcing Holly to throw triple after triple on the 20 and Mary to fill in the gaps. But she does take the shot finally, up 20 points. What an excellent dart by Holly Thompson. Wow, Julie Weger, a little bit surprised by that.
Absolutely. And now relegated to the smallest number on the board.
Yeah.
Julie Weger felt that triple 16 with each dart that she threw.
That's the first shot we've seen Julie Weger really go up there and not put in a good effort. She had her back broken by that big shot by Holly.
And I know it sounds funny, but we compare compare this darts game to a boxing match all the time, and that uppercut there from Holly really, really sent the other team reeling.
So Lisa going to try to pick up her partner, Julie. Long-time doubles partners, these two. Know each other very well. Probably the best team chemistry of any team in this entire event, men's side or women's side. But Lisa gonna come up empty, does not hit a triple. So Holly now with a 20-point lead, 1 mark on the 15s, gonna try to close this out. Triple first dart, needs 3 bullseyes, gets a single with the second, and a single, a 4 with the third. So Mary will need 2 bulls when she comes back up if Julie does not hit 5 bulls.
Ooh, and Julie right off the bat looking a little... Oh, but she does. She finds 3 after that first wayward dart. So Mary Ferguson steps to the line, only needing 2 bullseyes. She's up points. She's up 3 numbers. Can only imagine she's going to start on that bullseye because she's got a chance for fallout, and she's got a chance for the finish.
Well, she doesn't get a bullseye with the first 2 darts, but decides to switch to the 20 with the third. Comes away with a big triple 20.
Yeah, you talk about a backbreaker. And here we start seeing that round out get even closer. So now we might see these ladies start tossing just for points as Lisa Yee and them may try to take that point lead. And as long as it's the last round, they're going to win.
Holly not going to mess around. She does go at the bullseye. Does not hit it, however. And I see Lisa and Julie talking. This is round 19. Julie gets it. She knows she cannot throw at anything but bullseyes. So a lot of pressure going to be square on Mary if Julie does come up here. And she will gain the point lead, but only by 5. Mary's going to need a lot of 20s to force Lisa to have to hit a lot of bullseyes. Maybe she decides to go for it. What do you think? I think maybe with 2 darts she might have to take it. Yeah, she's going to. No, she's just going to go 20s. Only 2 singles, so 35 points separate these teams. Lisa Yee stepping to the line. She's got a 3.78 average, so if she can just get 2 bullseyes, they will win this game and the match. First dart in, second dart in. That's game. Nobody knows it, but Lisa does. Wow, they start shaking hands. Beautiful match. Your champions of the 2015 PPD Tournament of Champions, Lisa Yee and Julie Weger. Congratulations to our runners-up, Holly Thompson and Mary Ferguson. Mary, like Lisa and Julie, will take home $10,000. Holly, unfortunately, only 5.
Unfortunately, 5.
Well, the other 3 ladies get 10.
Is one of the most wonderful things I've ever heard at a dart tournament.
The other 3 ladies get 10,000. So, unfortunately, she only gets 5. So we join this match on 1A. The players have already corked. We did get a P-hole. Stacy calls it. The only dart in the bullseye there out of Michael Tritt after winning the cork. So Mike Tritt and Randy, or excuse me, Bill Schallenberger and Mike Tritt will be playing Mike Maloney and Randy. Not sure what the film crew is doing in the background. They are in no association with Red Eye Rhino Productions. That is the reality TV show that was going on. Bill Schallenberger, not going to mess around with that, though. Does not care. He's just going to throw in a low ton. Very important match here. He realizes it. Maloney able to throw a hat trick on his last turn, even though all of that was going on. Very impressive. So his partner, Randy Slow Mo Morris, will come up to hit the bullseye.
Here comes Randy, who does play at his own pace. We've seen Randy on the feed today already. Remember, this is one leg, so it all depends on this as far as who continues on. And here we see Randy only with 51 after 3 darts. Mike Tritt going to step to the board, square up, and try to put in that $150.
Now, we saw Mike Tritt and Mike Maloney have a really good battle earlier in the week in one of the qualifying finals. So here we see Tritt with a big hat trick to take a 114-point lead. Maloney, perfect through 3, is going to need to continue that. Oh, thought he was going to, but flight's out on the 3rd.
So Shally, part of one of the big finale matches or qualifier matches that we had over this weekend, really showing his class here, following Mike Tritt's $150 with a $150 himself.
Yeah, they've really put their stamp on this leg. Now ahead by 150 points. Even if Randy Morris throws a hat trick, they will only be tied, and Randy and Maloney will be going second in this game of 236.
That, by the way, was the 60th hat trick that we've seen on this feed today.
And just think of all the other ones that happened off the feed.
So finally, Randy finds that bullseye, and he finds it twice. Really up against it right now, Randy and Mike.
Yeah, both teams have to be thinking, let's go out in 6. So Mike's going to want to set this up for his partner, Bill Schallenberger.
And here's where the partners really come into play. We see a great shot there to bring that score down. Mike Maloney, though, he could put in the $180 to leave 97. We think he's going to do the $150 to leave 127, and they may be all double bulls. I don't think that last one counted as a double bull, but he's going to get the $150 anyways. So 118 plays 127, but Bill Schallenberger has the all-important start.
Oh, and there it is, a 118 finish by Bill Schallenberger to take this match. So Bill and Mike Tritt will move on. Mike Maloney and Randy Morris eliminated in 5th place. So we're back on board 1A. It appears that the players are getting ready to start. They have already flipped. We don't know what the result of that coin flip was, but we will have Brandon Smith and James Hancock versus Bill Schallenberger and Mike Tritt. Mike Tritt and Bill Schallenberger, the team we just saw eliminate Mike Maloney and his partner Randy Morris. There seems to be a little bit of confusion about when to start, so we're going to kill the mic again and start over. So we do rejoin board 1A with Mike Maloney Michael Tritt and Bill Schallenberger against Brandon Smith and James Hancock. Bill Schallenberger and Michael Tritt, the team that just defeated Mike Maloney and Randy Morris. This is Loser Takes Fourth, so we will be playing one game, 701. The loser of this does take fourth place. The winner will move on to play Eric Blackledge and Rick Smith. In what will then, the format will change because Eric and Rick only have one loss. So they have corked. It appears as if Mike Tritt did win the... That's a weird thing to say. Mike Tritt did win the cork.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, apparently not.
So again, this is for Loser Takes Fourth. $3,500 to the loser of this match. The winner will go on to play loser takes third, which is $5,000. So not some hateful scratch here in these matches either. And here we see Brandon only come away with one bull, going second, which is a terrible position to be in to begin with, and to only hit one bullseye really puts him up against it. Bill Schallenberger follows up with two bullseyes for another low ton for this team. James Hancock, who we've been bragging up all day. There was patches in that match earlier that we were watching that he was just crushing. Didn't look like he was going to miss. And here's the same thing, the big $150. Great shot from Hancock.
Yeah, Brandon Smith and James Hancock have not been in this situation yet today. They remained in the winner's bracket all the way to play for the king seat and have lost two matches in a row to come down to the one-game 701 double loss category. Michael Tritt going to follow the hat trick of James Hancock beautifully to take back a 154-point lead. So Brandon Smith going to need all three of these to pull back close.
Oh, a good position there, but does fall short into that 10. So instead of being very close, we see him now down 44 points.
So Shally will come up, looking to extend that lead. finds the first 2 bullseyes and the third, leaves 165 for his partner, Michael Tritt. Hancock now coming up will not be able to leave an out, so they will have 6 darts from 165.
I think that means we're not going to get a very good shot at that 165. We may just see them bring that down and set it up for Shali here.
If ever there was a 3-dart out to throw at where your partner or your opponents aren't on an out, this is probably one of them because the 15 does leave you a nice round 150. But Michael Tritt's going to start on the bullseye, hit the first 2, probably go 15 here to leave the 50. No, he opts to throw the bullseye to leave 15, and you can see in the background Schallenberger not really pressed with that. He even gives a little bit of a smirk that he left him the 15. Not real sure why he would do that. Now in risk of busting, but Brandon Smith only puts in 1 bullseye. So we'll see if Shali can make up for Michael Tritt throwing the hat trick on 65.
We may see Shali, after he hits this 15, run back there and explain to Tritt what exactly he should have done on that last shot.
Yeah, cannot be happy with that. Got to whisper in his ear, hey, don't leave me that again. But Brandon and James do get eliminated in 4th place. As Gordon said, they will take home $3,500 to split. But Bill and Michael Tritt will move on to face Eric Blackledge and Rick Smith. Here we are with our next match. This is loser takes third. We just saw Bill and Mike win their last match. They now face off against Eric Blackledge and Rick Smith. The format does change in this one. We will be going to the one-loss category because that's what Eric and Rick have. So it will be 501 stacked, cricket, cork on the third leg for choice. Third place is guaranteed $5,000, so all of these players guaranteed a $2,500 payday. Now, one interesting thing about this match, Eric and Rick are the last two people that are pre-qualified left that could knock off Robert Talbot. So if they lose here, Robert Talbot will be guaranteed at least $10,000, just as we saw on the women's side from Mary Ferguson. So I'm sure he's back there rooting against them.
Absolutely.
Eric and Rick do have to be beaten twice, though. Mike and Bill coming out of the two-loss bracket. Eric and Rick only with one. First dart a bullseye. Second dart an 11. And last dart a bullseye from Eric Blackledge. So a solid 111 start for Rick and Eric.
So here we see a little bit of a role reversal as Mike and Shali are going to go second in the opening leg of 01. Luckily for them, though, this is not the only leg that they're going to play. We will be playing best 2 out of 3, so they're going to get a start in cricket if they do ultimately lose this leg.
Yeah, Eric and Rick will try to be preserving that one loss. They want to get into the final where they're going to be going for the triple dip with only one loss. That way they have one to give because they are going to need to win 3 out of 4.
And that was another pea hole from Rick Smith there.
Absolutely.
Shali going to walk up here, try to put in that $150, falls 5 or 6 holes short, 2 holes high, and then ends up into that single bullseye for only 53 points. Some bad misses there into the 2 and 1.
Absolutely. Surely unlucky. So, Eric now at 240 is going to come to the board wanting to put in a hat trick to leave 90, and he's going to do just that. So his partner, Rick Smith, who hasn't missed a dart, will come back needing 90. Mike Tritt, however, way back on 329, needs to throw a 170 to leave 159. Not going to do it. Missed the first dart into the 17. Just going to follow it up. Try to hit 2 bullseyes. Does just that. However, Eric Blackledge has left his partner nicely. Highly doubt they get a shot at an out in this game.
So Rick now stepping up to take a look at this 90. He puts that bullseye in straight away and the double top as well. Great 2-dart finish there from Rick for a finishing average of 48. Very strong as we head into the next leg, which is going to be cricket, which Bill and Mike will hope to win and send this to a decider.
Absolutely. If they don't, they will be out, finishing in 3rd place. Eric and Rick will move on with just 1 loss.
Which is ideal for those guys because they're going to have it all to do as they reach Robert and Dennis in the final.
Yeah, we've seen Robert and Dennis quite a few times on the feed today, and they both were playing very well at times. So if Eric and Rick want to get the triple dip in and win this title, they're really going to need to play well. Mike Tritt only starts with 320s. So Eric Blackledge now coming up the board looking mighty spazzy in his red UTG jersey that I am wearing.
Here we see a big shot from Eric coming in. Puts in the first 2 darts into the triple and then misses just high into the 20.
Yeah, big shot by Eric there. He did take a bit of a gamble on the 20, but certainly calculated aggression. Bill going to pick up his partner Mike Tritt and throw 5 20s.
So again, the last time we saw Rick on the feed wasn't throwing nearly as what we had seen in the qualifiers earlier in the week. But that 0-1 leg really looked like he had straightened it out. But as I say that, he's got 2 into the 7 and really needs that 57 to take the lead. But he does find it with the last dart. So Mike Tritt going to step up here, going to look at that 20. Hoping to find the treble on the first dart. Only up by 6. Now 66. Ooh, and just outside of making it 126. So only 86 points separate these two teams. Eric Blackledge looking to load that 19 up first.
So Eric gonna throw 6 19s and take another stab at the 20 where he triples it to shut it down. So 228 plays 200. Bill Schallenberger down, gonna need to go to a new number for score. Closes the 17s, trips it with the last dart, so he does score 51 points. Now up by 23 points, but Rick Smith will come to the board looking at the 19.
Rick with a big last start the last time he was at the board. He's going to look to maybe get that triple a little earlier in the turn. Falls into that single. Ooh, and just outside into the 3. Rick really struggling when we see him on the feed here. Obviously a great player to be here in the position that he's in. Obviously a great player the last time we saw him on the feed. I believe, did he end up winning the qualifier that we watched?
You know, you put me on the spot, and I'm not real sure, but I know that he was playing well.
I know that it was a deep run. I believe it was a W for Rick in that qualifier. But here we see him just not at tip-top shape, but not Eric Blackledge. He is just loading things up back-to-back. Well, technically an 8 mark the last time because he only got credit for 2 marks. But for all intents and purposes, the man hasn't missed.
Yeah, certainly good darts. Bill Schallenberger will try to cut a gap in that lead, though. And he does with a big 7 mark of his own to pull back within 6. So Rick Smith now cannot afford to keep missing. He's going to need to help Eric Blackledge out if they're going to compete in this match.
Down to the 19s to try to get those points. Takes a stab at that 18.
Yeah, I don't really understand the strategy. You're obviously the one not playing as good as your partner. How about you let your partner throw at the big triples and you just stay on score?
So here we see Mike Tritt probably going to make them pay. Doesn't look. Oh, he does take a shot at that 19. I think that was the right spot to do it, especially with Eric coming up here, who hasn't missed, but maybe 1 dart, 2 darts in this leg so far. Oh, and he's just out of that treble, but he's back in there with the 3rd for another 7 mark. So 8-9-7 for Eric Blackledge on his last 3 shots.
Yeah, averaging a 7.75. That is certainly world-class darts. But Bill Schallenberger back on a 6-0. Not bad at all. That will win most tournaments.
Absolutely not. We see Shally take a shot at that 19 there. Rick Smith coming up. Down 3 points. Would really like to see him load up that 19. If he does tag the triple, maybe go up to that 18 for 2 for a close. That may be the scenario we see play out here. 1 more, and they're cruising into the 16s. Mike Tritt lining up his shot straight into that treble straight away. Only 116. Oh, and gets a big triple in the last for 64 points. Takes that point lead, but the devastator, Eric Blackledge, going to pile in these 19s. You can see it coming from a mile away. The man is very focused. Oh, and just outside on that 16.
Yeah, only up by 66. I'm not real sure I agree with the calculated risk there. But Bill Schallenberger will come back to the board needing 2 triple 16s to have a shot at the 19. He's going to get the first one. Not going to get the second one, however. 777. The 3rd dart does go into the 16 though, to take a 30-point lead for Bill Schallenberger and Michael Tritt. So Rick Smith really going to need to help his partner out here, only averaging a 3.25. However, Eric Blackledge averaging a large 7.2. So come on, Rick. Let's give your buddy some help. Oh, as he almost does. Hits the 19, throws it the double 16, but lands outside. Really a mistake. Had he thrown it to triple, it would have hit a single, needing only 1 single from here. But Michael Tritt going to try to punish. He throws single 16, triple 16, got to take a shot at the 19, only hits a single, still needs 1 more. So Eric Blackledge coming back, down 37 points, looking to punish.
And a big, big miss there by Rick Smith, because Eric could be coming to the board right here, needing that treble, only needing a single 16. Oh my gosh, and we see another terrible, terrible mistake. People, this is what we have been preaching this entire time. Missing outside of that double is not worth the risk. We could have had that 16 closed 3 times over now, but just outside on that double doesn't earn you anything.
Yeah, and here comes Bill Schallenberger, going to really punish these guys for all those missed doubles. He hits 2 triple 16s and a single 19 to take a 76-point lead in one number, relegating Rick down to the 15s where he will need a pile. Not going to get a pile, hoping to get half a pile. And not even that, he gets 1 mark. So, after winning the first game, really setting themselves up nicely, Eric playing amazing, these two and their risk on the double 16 have backed themselves into a corner in this game.
Yeah, again, the risk on that double just doesn't make any sense as we see Mike Tritt throw that last dart into the triple. And now Eric, averaging a 6.5 per turn, is walking to the board with a huge deficit and only able to come away with 3 bullseyes and the hat trick. Shali, I'm sure not worried in this position. Probably welcomes the shot at the 2 doubles that are left for the other team, and comes away with 2 darts, 2 bullseyes. Rick Smith gonna need at least 4 bullseyes to take that lead. There's 2 of them. There's half of them in the first dart. 1 dart away from at least making Mike Tritt throw 2 darts, and another big double. So we see him pull back quite a few points there. 125 scored on the bullseye. But again, Mike Tritt coming to the board. Going to reel those back. Try to on the 16s. Does straight away and into the bullseye and smooth strokes that 2-dart finish.
That's a big finish by Mike Tritt because he did need a triple 16 to get a look at that bullseye. So, Eric Blackledge will show the cork here, tied up at 1-all. This is not a make-or-break game for Eric and Rick. They do only have 1 loss, Bill and Mike with 2. However, Eric and Rick do not want to give one away because they do have the feat of triple-dipping their opponents in the finals if they make it there.
Oh, you see Shali fly high.
So Eric will get the start. They have the option of choosing to go first or picking the game. Don't believe we've seen anybody pick the game so far today.
And for that matter, when the other team does pick the game, we haven't seen an 0-1 pick just yet.
That's true too.
And it doesn't look like this is going to be any different, as they do choose cricket.
So as we wait for every dart player's favorite Fu Manchu to set up the board, we will see Eric Blackledge get ready to take this 3rd leg.
Back into that triple straight away. Sails into the 1. And a final treble 20 for 60 points. Big shot from Eric there with two big triples to start it off. Mike Tritt and Shali really have it all to do here to try to reel this leg of cricket back away from him.
Yeah, not really a surprise to see Eric Blackledge start so strong. We know he's a world-class dart player. But to see Michael Tritt only follow with 119 is a surprise. These two have been playing very well to get back to this point after taking 2 losses pretty early on. But Rick Smith, now feeling comfortable, under no real pressure, is going to throw in a triple 19 and a single 17. So a big lead for Rick Smith and Eric Blackledge in this game. Bill Schallenberger, after averaging a 6 mark a turn the last game, going to come to the board needing a lot of 18s. You see Mike Tritt in the background there, knows that his partner is helping him out in a time of need, and that he does with 7 18s to take a 12-point lead. Good darts, Bill Schallenberger.
All right, Eric sliding over into that 5. Does hit the big fat 20. Oh, and finds that treble 19 after a little trouble on the 20. So he does reel back 77 points, taking the lead. And Mike Tritt's going to walk up here and try to score straight into that triple. 72 points in the board. Make that 126 points scored. Now taking the lead up by 61 points.
So Rick Smith under a little bit of pressure now. Down 61 points. Coming up, looking at the 20. Gonna find the triple with the second dart. Still trailing by 1. Does hit a single on the third dart. So takes a small 19-point advantage. But Bill Schallenberger has the 18 to score on.
Shally over into that 18. Oh, and only catches a 2 mark. Rough shot there from Shally. He's been playing very steady, and I think we're going to see Eric Blackledge put in a big shot here. Oh, but again, maybe another slack shot. He does find the triple with the last dart for 80 more points.
So Michael Tritt stepping to the board, down 63 points, needs 4 18s to take the point lead. Even if he hits that, he probably will stay on the 18, but he's only going to throw 3 18s. So he's still trailing as Rick Smith steps to the board.
Rick back at that 18, trying to shut it down. Oh, but again, falls to the right into that one. And again, we see a big slack turn from Rick Smith. Shally really walking up here, ready to pounce.
Yeah, that turn could really come back to haunt Rick Smith and Eric Blackledge. Even if they do come back and win this match on the next leg, they're still going to regret giving away this one, and that's exactly what might happen because Schallenberger coming up big in the most important moments.
They do have a single of 17 already, so that triple will score 17 points. And here, Blackledge follows that big shot from Shally with a shot of his own. Back-to-back 9 marks. Great shooting from those two guys.
Yeah, Eric proving he's the best player on this board. Not going to allow Rick's bad darts to defeat them. Picking his partner up, telling him, come on, let's go. But Michael Tritt not going to be phased. Will answer with 16s, excuse me.
Yeah, it's been a while since we just saw a pile. Normally when those first two go in, we see the pile and a half.
But here comes Rick Smith. I got a feeling he's going to hit a big shot. He kind of needs to. Eric doing all he can to keep him going. And here we see Rick coming up huge. A white horse for Rick there. Big shot. A 62-point lead in 2 numbers.
Yeah, you see the smirk on the face of Shally here as he does step up here to try to load up that bullseye.
Yeah, back-to-back 9s out of Rick and Eric. Beautiful darts. Now all Eric needs is 3 bullseyes to take this match.
Straight in there with the first. Straight in there with the second. Can't imagine he's going to go sideways on this one. And there we see him close it out and head into the final match.
So Rick and Eric do survive, move on to play in the finals of the men's finale. Bill Schallenberger and Mike Tritt will take third place, a very respectful $5,000, $2,500 apiece, obviously. And Eric and Rick will keep their bid on to get the title. Plus, both of these players do have the option of an extra $5,000 apiece if they win the event. Okay, here we are in Kansas City at the TOC Tournament of Champions, PPD. We are joined by Dennis Sandin and Rob Talbot, who own the king seat. Coming out of the losers bracket, we have Eric Blackledge and Rick Smith. This is for everything, the whole title. Eric and Rick have one loss. Dennis and Rob have no losses, so Eric and Rick needing to triple dip if they want to win.
So here, what do you think? Is the triple dip on?
I certainly think it's a possibility. As we said earlier in the day, Eric and Rick were our on-paper favorites. Certainly Dennis and Rob, a very good team, but not so sure they can hold off Eric Blackledge and Rick Smith because Eric is playing phenomenal. In the last leg that Eric and Rick played, we saw them go back-to-back 9-mark.
Yes, a big cricket leg there to get them to this spot. The farthest Eric Blackledge has made it. I believe Rick Smith has not played in a final, but this man stepping to the board, Dennis Sandin, has won this event before.
Yes, a former champion. He won this 2 years ago, so he is going for 2 out of 3 years in the TOC finale.
Rick Smith stepping up here, taking a look at that bullseye, slides into the one, finds the bullseye on the next dart, and finds the bullseye with the third dart. So a good low ton after a slack dart, and really falling into the one's the worst thing when you're shooting at that bullseye.
Yeah, but in a game of 1, if that's the only dart you miss, it actually works out to your benefit because it does put you on a number divisible by 50, so you can just bull out from there.
So here we have Robert Talbot, who's really been super hot and at times in this final.
Yeah, he's kind of been like ocean waves. It's been really high highs and really low lows. But those highs can have been perfect games of 0-1 and 9 mark after 9 mark, but those lows can really come back to kill you, and you really need a more even balance.
And here we see Eric Blackledge staying perfect after his first 6 darts. Dennis Sandin going to try to find that bullseye, especially now. Finds the double again. Great shooting after that first miss on the 16.
Yeah, I got to imagine that the only one that's ever played a single match worth $10,000 in this finale is Dennis Sandin, so he should be the most experienced as far as this is concerned. But Eric Blackledge, certainly the class of the field, starting out with 6 perfect darts or 6 perfect bullseyes. However, his partner does only throw 1 that time to leave 328. So a big opportunity for Robert Talbot stepping to the board.
Yeah, and Rick Smith really has to start worrying about here whether or not he's going to freeze Eric in this leg. However, Eric might be running down there fast enough that he can take it out before that's an issue.
Yeah, the freeze doesn't look too likely now that Robert had a bad shot behind Rick. Only 12 points ahead of him. I think Blackledge is going to have plenty enough time. Plus, he hasn't missed a dart to this point. Still 8 perfect so far. Make it 9. He's on the perfect game.
We now have 65 hat tricks that we've seen here on the live feed today. Dennis Sandin loading up that bullseye to start, and 2 fallouts after that for only 81 scored.
Yeah, the long break that Dennis Sandin and Robert Talbot have faced seems to have affected them, because before we saw them, when they won the king seat here, they were playing very well to beat a really on-form James Hancock and Brandon Smith.
So finally, Rick back in that bullseye pretty steadily for a 103. And of course, Eric Blackledge sitting on 51. We may not see the perfect game again because he may go 1 bullseye.
Yeah, he certainly seems like the smart enough player to do that with neither of your opponents on and out. You really can take the safer play and go 1 bull. You've thrown 9 bullseyes in a row. Chances are you're not going to miss. But he is going to go after perfect game. We've seen about 7 different players hit the triple 3 just 1 hole out today. But he cleans it up nicely with a triple 14. So there you have it. The first leg goes to Eric and Rick. just the start of the long triple dip if they're going to do it.
Yes, as this is still loser goes first. So now we see in the middle of the match, Dennis Sandin getting mic'd up here, or somebody adjusting what appears to be a mic pack in his back pocket. I think he's asking or telling him he didn't even buy him dinner first, as he walks up here to the board to start this leg of cricket. Pretty nonchalant from Dennis, knowing that this match is for $10,000.
Yeah, and his partner playing for $20,000 because Robert Talbot is one of the pre-qualified 16 men, as well as Eric Blackledge and Rick Smith. So if Robert and Dennis can win this, Robert will actually get $20,000, Dennis will get $10,000, and Eric and Rick will get $5,000. But if Eric and Rick can win it, they will share the $10,000 bonus and get get $15,000 apiece. So a big match for Robert, not nearly as important for Dennis.
Yeah, we may see a tussle here if Dennis doesn't hold up his end of the bargain, as a real big payday is on the horizon here for Talbot.
Yeah, big last there, says Robert. Don't take my money.
But we are assured to see someone or a team get their money doubled in this. Whereas in the first match or the first final with the women, that ended up only happening to second place.
Yeah, Mary Ferguson finished runner-up in the women's division along with her partner Holly Thompson, so she did have her $5,000 prize money doubled to $10,000. This time, there will be a $10,000 bonus. It can either be split between Eric and Rick, or Robert Talbot can take it all home on his own. So a big shot there from Dennis. A triple 20, a triple 19, a single 18 to really take control of this game. He does not want to fall from grace.
Eric having a pretty slack leg by his standards, averaging almost half, less than half of what he normally does. Robert Talbot stepping up here to really put a stranglehold on this leg. And you see him close the 18 there. Has an extra dart in his hand. Looks like he might be looking down the board to maybe start on that 17. No, he stays up top. He smacks that 20 for another 20 points. Really a smart shot, as they do have an X on it. Rick Smith and Eric Blackledge do have an X on it. So at any point, if they wanted to take that number away, they could.
So Rick now averaging a 4.0. Going to need to improve that if him and Eric are going to have a shot in this game. Not going to do it on this turn, however. Only throws a 1 mark, so he and Eric both only averaging 2.5. A very poor leg from this team.
Dennis Sandin here stepping up to that 17, stepping over to that 16, and 2 big triples. Gets a pile, a half a pile of 17s and a half a pile of 16s.
2 halves equal a whole. I like it.
Absolutely. Here's a 15 from Eric. Going to need a heck of a lot more than that to put any pressure on these bullseyes. And he only comes away with a 5 mark. So while he does improve his average, it's not going to be enough to worry this man. Robert Talbot stepping up here to close the 15s, to have the lead of 3 numbers, points, heading into those bullseyes. Going to need a multiple score here, and he does with a big triple 15. You hear the crowd react to that treble.
So Rick Smith, everything to do here. Not looking good in this game, but he and Eric did win game 1, so they will get to play another one in game 3, even if they lose this one. We will see a cork. If whoever wins the cork will have the option of choosing to go first or pick the game, but game not over yet. Dennis still needs 3 bullseyes.
When we see him only come away with 2, but no harm, no foul. Really an open shot there. We see Eric going to need at least 6 to make this team worried at all, as they are down 3 numbers. Only 41 points, and he does hit 5. So here we do see him take a 9-point lead. However, those 3 numbers and only needing 1 bullseye should not worry Robert Talbot.
No, Robert Talbot's going to finish this up. Bullseye on the first dart. Needs a single 20, 17, or 16 to win this game. He does it with a little extra sugar on top. A triple 20 to win this game by 51 points and 3 numbers to tie us up in the first set at 1 leg apiece. We see all the fans gather around there in the background to watch this match. A very important one. It seems as if Dennis is having lots of problems with his microphone in between games. The yellow camera crew there still messing with Dennis's microphone. I would be annoyed by that. I'm very surprised he's not. Oh, and Blackledge does put in a nice double bull for the cork. Robert not happy about missing on the first one, so he's going to take a couple extra.
Yeah, and this is one reason why we tipped this team. Eric Blackledge, a very good corker, very important in this type of scenario, and he's going to get to start in a lot of crucial legs.
Yeah, even though Rick not really playing to the standard that we've seen him play all week, we knew that Eric, being one of the strongest competitors, would have a bit of an advantage because corks are so important with this format, and Eric's going to win more often than not. So he does get the start here in the third game, just as we suspected. He will play cricket. That's what Dennis and Robert chose. So Eric now going to throw at the 20s. He's going to find 4 with the first 2 and a single with the last. So closes the 20s and 40 points for Eric Blackledge.
Yeah, real solid open there. Definitely can be outdone by Dennis in an open. We've seen some big shots out of Dennis, especially to start. But here we see him slide into that 3, and from those first 6 darts, this looks like Dennis and Rob are going to suffer their first loss.
Yeah, if they tie this up at 1-all, I think you have to assume that Eric and Rick are the favorites once again. Wow, and Rick continues to take riskier shots. You see Eric with a much more mainstream type style of play, going for points, but Rick plays a much more aggressive game, throws for the 19 there on the second dart, even after missing the first. So Robert will come up with 1 mark on the 19, hits 2 singles with the first 2 darts, lines up the third, and only hits a single, so 3 singles for Robert. So that team averaging 2 marks a turn, not very good, as Eric Blackledge is averaging 5 by himself.
Here we see Eric still not finding the mark on that 19, but only needing 2 to close, and that's what he does to really shut that 19 down, send Dennis and his team up to that 18.
So Dennis going to take a shot at the 18, only hit 1 mark. So Rick, finally with a big shot, triple 18, triple 17, to really take a stranglehold on this here third leg in the first set.
And honestly, we really got to blame Dennis and Robert for Rick kind of snapping out of it. He's very relaxed. He's got the better player on his team right now, and should really settle in and let these triples flow.
Yeah, we keep talking about it. Darts is a game of pressure. You have to take it off of yourself and put it on your opponents. The only way to really do that is to keep hitting big numbers, and they're just not doing it. However, you do see Robert there throw a 7 mark, 416, trips to 15. So Eric going to come up behind him. Now he feels the pressure. This is the class of Eric Blackledge. You can't make him fold because you put pressure. He instead rises above it.
So Dennis Sandin just having a poopy leg here. Only averaging 1 mark a turn. Falls out into that 16 after a double bull start. Does end up closing that bullseye. And here comes Rick Smith, who's very comfortable. Wouldn't be surprised at all if he puts in the 3 bullseyes in order to win this leg. And there it is. Rick Smith finishes up that leg and the first set. So now both of these teams already have 1 loss. So we will change the formats here.
Yes, now instead of playing 5-0-1 with the freeze rule, it will change to 5-0-1 stacked, both players playing on the same score. The second game will be cricket. The third game will not change. It will be cork for choice. So Robert Talbot shows a dart there for the cork. Does not land in the bullseye. Looks to be 1 or 2 holes out inside the 10. Eric does throw a bullseye. So once again, cork's very important. Eric's getting the start in the first and third game every time. That's going to be bad news for Robert and his $20,000.
Yeah, Eric really flexing his cork muscle here so far.
The cork muscle is strong.
So now that these two are playing together, he has to worry a little less about Rick as he still gets the throw on the same score, and we'll have it all to do to get down there to 0 before this other team.
Yeah, with the scoring power of Eric and Rick filling in the gaps, I have to imagine these two are going to put in a 12-dart 5-0-1, so it may take a 9-darter out of Dennis and Robert.
So Dennis here coming off a bad leg. Going to need to get right back into the bullseye to get back to work. I think he said shucks after that shot. As we see Rick Smith come up to follow up Eric Blackledge. This low ton.
I predict a hat trick on this one. No real pressure. Eric set him up in a good spot with his low ton, and Dennis let him off the hook. But he does miss the third dart, so 276 for Eric Blackledge when he comes back up. But Robert's going to try to throw a hat trick of his own and actually surpass that score.
Yeah, you were totally wrong on that call. Hopefully Robert here comes up and hits at least 2 bullseyes to follow up and get that score a little bit closer. It looks like he's going to do it. And he does, so I'm a little bit more right on that call. And that's another bullseye. That's another hat trick to the count for the feed.
Yes, that was my ultimate prediction, an extra hat trick. Did think Rick was going to give it, but he did not. Eric, however, most likely will as well, as he does, to leave 126 for Rick. So Dennis settled back on 280, down 154 points. Really needs to hit a big shot if him and Robert are going to win this leg.
Yeah, I feel this is turning out to be maybe a Brandon Smith situation where he really needs something to get him going. And there we see him come up with that $150 to leave his partner really a fine out. And now we see Rick Smith finally under some pressure here. Needs to take this out as Robert Talbot will be licking his chops to get a shot at that 130.
Yeah, he gets the first 2 bullseyes. Gonna need a double 13 for the win in this leg. And he hits it. Boom! There it is. He gives a big clap. Eric's happy about it. A big fist pump. Way to go. I'll set up the board, buddy. You do it all.
You make them, I'm taking them.
I like it. It's kind of like raking the cards when you're playing euchre and your partner goes alone. You got to do it.
Yep.
I'll set up the board if you hit the outs.
You make them, I'll rake them in here.
You know what euchre is. A lot of people don't know.
So we see Dennis Sandin here coming to the board, down 1 leg, and this here, the second set, both teams with 1 loss. He's going to need a big shot to really swing the momentum back in their favor after starting on the king seat. He does find a triple 20 with his last start to take a 40-point lead.
Yeah, there really hasn't been a whole lot of signs that they're going to overtake them in any of these important legs. And here we see Eric finally find that triple to put in the 5 mark. But Robert Talbot comes to the board knowing he has the biggest number on the board, knowing he has the start to rely on, and hopefully he'll just relax in and throw some good darts here.
Yeah, Robert Talbot right back in the triple 20. Doesn't hit it with the second dart. Looking at the 19 on that third and gets it. A big pile of marks for Robert Talbot on that one. 3 on the 20, 3 on the 19. So Rick Smith, down by 62 points, is really going to need a big shot to pick him and his partner, Eric Blackledge, up. First dart, not going to do that in the skinny 4. Second dart might do that with a triple 18. Needs another one. Does hit it. So he answers a pile with a pile. Only down 8 points now. Here comes Dennis Sandin.
Dennis again kind of slacking off in these last couple of legs. We see him start on that 20, or at least attempt to. Only comes away with a 20. The wry smile from him as he walks away from the board with only 1 mark.
So Eric Blackledge, not phased, taking advantage of the 1 mark, trips the 18, trips the 20, 26-point advantage, and the 18s. Robert Talbot is going to need a big shot if he wants to win $20,000 instead of 10. Yes, instead of 10. Had it right. Why'd I keep talking?
So here he's going to slide off to the right, try to get a dart into that treble 17, and smooth strokes at 2, unfortunately. Not what he was looking for there. So again, Rick Smith going to come to the board. Highest average across the board, out-averaging his partner by 0.5, which is huge in this type of setup. Should be super relaxed, throwing at that 17.
Yeah, finds the triple with the second dart to increase the lead to 43. Moves over to the 15, trips that one as well. 3-number advantage, 43 points. They're about to go 4 out of 5 legs to give Dennis and Robert their second loss.
Yeah, and this break between matches for Dennis and Rob is really, I think, what's holding them back here. They just don't seem to be in a rhythm.
No, not at all. They were certainly playing much better early on, but Eric Blackledge and Rick really playing well, averaging a 6 mark apiece. Well, now less than that because of Eric's last shot where he had to throw at the bullseyes, but still a large advantage. Robert Talbot gonna need to throw at least 5 bullseyes to take the lead. Not gonna happen as the first one misses into the 10. Second one a single bullseye. Needs the double. Does only hit a single. So 2 bulls for Robert Talbot on that turn. Here comes Rick Smith with 2 bulls to finish this leg and set and move 1 win away from victory.
So Rick Smith taking a shot at that bullseye. Only needs 2. Gets 1. 1 dart left in his hand, and there it is. Another good finish by Rick Smith. Rick really coming alive. These two are both playing very well, ending that match with both with 5 marks per turn averages, and just not looking like they can do anything to stop these guys.
Yeah, this match really has all the storylines. Eric being the top player in the room, Rick being the local hero from Kansas City, Missouri, and the crowd just completely behind these guys. It absolutely is incredible that the triple dip is on.
Ooh, and the cork muscle's not flexed there. Eric does fall out into a single and is defeated there. So we will see the team of Dennis and Rob starting what could be the last set, as Dennis and Rob did just suffer their second loss.
Yes, so Eric will set up the board. Dennis Sandin back there waiting. Gonna want to come out strong in this 501. Probably needs to put in at least 2, but really needs to put in 3 if I'm being honest.
Okay, here comes Eric Blackledge stepping up here to throw at the bullseye to start this leg. Going second for the first time in the opening leg of a set.
Yeah, so Eric with the first real slack shot in an 0-1 game only hits 1 bullseye, and they're going second, so that's going to be tough to overcome. If Robert Talbot can put in a hat trick here, he won't because the first dart is a 19. They would be sitting pretty. Misses the second dart as well, so really letting Eric off, and misses the third. So only 48 points for Robert Talbot. A door wide open. The breeze is behind Rick's back. All he has to do is get a little bit of speed.
And Rick really has in this match. He started off very lackluster and has just kind of grown like a snowball as this match has progressed.
Yeah, I think he smells that green. He knows 15,000 is waiting if they can win this match.
Absolutely. Great shot there from Rick Smith. Dennis Sandin stepping up here. Came away with a high ton or a low ton the last time he was up. And here we see another low ton with a single one.
So Eric Blackledge going to step to the board, sitting on 274. Knows he only needs 2 bulls to leave it out. Probably going to want to leave 3 for a nice, easy 124 for Rick Smith because that's what he does. 5 bullseyes from Eric Blackledge.
Yeah, unfortunately for Eric, no style points for doubles in the 0-1 setting here this weekend, but a lot of bullseyes going in, or a lot of shots at that bull going in that double. As we see again, Robert Talbot doing the same thing.
Yeah, 5 bulls, Robert Talbot. He sees the 5 of Eric, calls and answers 5 of his own. So Rick Smith on 124, gonna need to take this out. It does start with a bullseye. He hits it. Now 74, hits another bull, in fact a double, 24, double 12, ooh, bit snatchy, only a single, so Dennis Sandin will come to the board looking to take out 92. I'm going to say right now, if Dennis does not take out this 92, they are going to lose 6 out of 7 games and get triple dipped. Not looking pretty, but the first dart is a bullseye, even though it bounces out. Second dart, single 14. Third dart, double 14 to hang on. Dennis Sandin takes that out. What a shot.
Yeah, great recovery there after a poor shot in the middle of that match to come back and take that out. But they did need a little help from Rick Smith missing that double 12.
Absolutely.
So here we go into the second leg of this, what could be the final set if Eric and Rick were able to win it. Eric going to step up here knowing that he has the start, no cork needed. But they're definitely looking to take this to a final leg, or maybe that cork muscle comes out again.
Yeah, a really interesting position now, because if Dennis and Rob win this game, we will be corking up, but it will be for one game of 7-0-1 because both teams will have 2 losses. However, if Eric and Rick win this game, we're still going to cork, but it's only going to be for the 3rd game of this set to see who wins.
So here we go. Going to want to start with no less than 5 marks here from Eric.
Yes, 5 is the bar. Typically set, not going to get there. Does find the triple with the last, so at least he does get the 20s and points. But Dennis Sandin has to feel happy about that start out of Eric Blackledge.
Absolutely. You're talking about a guy that normally averages 5.5 in league, and we've seen many in the 6s and 7s for Eric this weekend. So for him to only hit 4 to open feels kind of like a let-off.
It feels like momentum might have shifted. Dennis and Robert really starting to get the energy, the spunk you see out of somebody. Well, and then Robert's going to take a knee and say a prayer behind Rick here as Rick walks up and trips the 20. Not really that much of punishment. So here comes Robert, gives Rick Shot a little bit of a clap.
So yes, Robert Talbot coming up here trying to make those 19s pay for still being open, and just falls just short. I feel like the next one's going to fly in there. It does. And now, with a 14-point lead, he'll probably stay down there for points. Only finds a single. So again, staying with that five marks per turn average. And Eric coming back to the board to kind of hopefully make a reprieve for that only 4 mark that he shot the last time up. Already into that triple, down to the 19, dead nuts into the 19. And we now have a big lead starting to open up for Eric and Rick.
So here comes Dennis Sandin, down by 47, opts to go for the 17s instead of the 18s, has the first 2 triples, a single with the last one to take a 21-point lead, but Rick Smith coming to the board has the 20, everyone's favorite, the biggest number on the board. Let's see if he can take advantage.
Yeah, interesting shot here from Rick, definitely going to go at that 20. Oh, 2 on the top wire, you can see him take a look at the score and throw that last one just a bit high, but does still score 60 points in that round. And Robert Talbot, with the number that is 2 smaller than the 20 that they're shooting at, is going to try to load it up and try to take this lead. He does straight away into the triple. Probably stay there for another before taking a shot. Ooh, falls out of the 2. He's eyeballing that again.
Oh, he eyeballs the 20 instead, and dead center does he hit it with a 12-point lead. What a momentum shift in this game. Wow, the pressure, the oomph of Robert to throw that shot. But as we said earlier, Eric does not back down from a challenge. I will see your big shot and raise you to a pile and a half. I'll take the 18s and the 17s plus 54 points. Dennis Sandin now going to need a lot. Down by 52 or 42 points. Hits 2 triples of his own. Hesitates. That's going to cost him, I've got a feeling. Robert coming over his shoulder, but Dennis only hits a single. So, down 22 points. Rick Smith will come back to the board looking at that 18.
Yeah, coming off a big 9 mark from his partner. Really put back in a good position here to take the lead back. Does straight away on that 18. Ooh, takes a crack at that 16. Back to the 18, but only for a single. Would have loved to have seen him stay on that 18. Let that hot hand of Eric Blackledge get an open shot at that 16.
Yes, that last 18 did put him up by 50 points, however. So because Robert is relegated to the 16s, he needs more than a triple to get the point lead. So it's going to take at least 4 16s to take the hero dart at the 18 again. Not going to happen, though, as the first dart does fly into the 7. Second dart, only a single, so now a triple to get the point lead. Does hit it with the third dart. Beautiful, beautiful dart. So a 14-point lead for Robert Talbot as Eric coming back to the board, fresh off of a 9 mark, looking at that 18 that he hit 2 of last time. Here it comes. Oh, he's back in there right away with another triple. A single on the next dart. Unlucky on that one. Ooh, switches down to the 16. Another single. So only a 5 mark for Eric Blackledge, but does maintain a 58-point lead.
Yeah, that means Dennis is definitely going to have to hit at least 4 marks on this 16. 3 of them right there. 6 of them now for a pile. Oh, and a pile and a half. You see the fist pump, the bell ring from Dennis there after the big triple 18. So Rick Smith now in a spot that he hasn't been very many times because of the excellent play by Eric Blackledge. He's going to try to take that spot back. Oh, and he's only got 2 15s. Triple coming in. Oh, no, he slides into that 10, so he doesn't even close the number. So Robert, huge spot for him now. Even if he hits a single, once he hits that triple 15 afterwards, he's going to score some points as well.
Yeah, the first real pressure put on Rick Smith in this game, and he does crumble. A huge shot for Dennis Sandin that last time. Not only did that 9 give them 9 marks, but it cost Rick a bunch. So Robert now needing a double. Whoa, not even going to throw at it. He trips the 15, single bulls, needs 2 of them. No, I'll go trip 16. My partner will take this out. He deserves the win anyways after he threw that 9 mark on the last turn.
Well, I think Robert's super annoyed that Dennis is averaging 7 marks a turn now, and is going to make him throw the 2 bullseyes to bring him down a little.
Yeah, probably exactly what Robert was thinking, because why would you ever want to just go ahead and finish the game when your partner can come up and double bullet with a 6.92 average? Wow, we are on. That set goes to Dennis and Robert. So we're going to play one game, 7-01, open in, open out. We're going to cork to see who goes first. You referred to Eric Blackledge's cork muscle. Let's see how strong he really is.
We can see the players here debating. It looks like Dennis is called tails and won the flip. So he'll walk up here and throw the cork first.
Quite certain that flip was ahead, but Dennis won it nonetheless, so he will throw the cork.
Oh, he's turning around. Going to have a conversation.
There actually might be some debate over the flip.
But no, it was confirmed. It was a tail. So Dennis did win the flip, so he's going to come back up here.
Dennis clearly looks like a man that calls heads every single time, so I'm quite confident it was a head.
So high right in the bullseyes, which is going to send Eric a little to the left. And there we see a tie.
Oh, and he flexes on the cork muscle. Oh, that's an Eric Blackledge cork. Dennis was only 1 hole in. Eric 2 holes in. Will have the start in 1 game. 7:01. Whew. Get ready, folks. This is intense.
So predictions. I mean, obviously Eric and Rick with the start. Do we tip them?
Oh, you always tip the person going first in 01. I would tip the bartender if she had won that cork.
But you're so cheap, she doesn't get a tip.
Wow, I wasn't talking about that kind of tip, but all right.
She didn't get the tip. Here we see Eric looking to load this thing up right away. Straight back into that double bullseye.
Ooh, not going to fill it up, though. Only hits 1. Wow, a very slack shot from Eric Blackledge. Only 84 points. So Dennis now coming to the board, although he lost that cork, still looking to take advantage. Also hits the 17 with the second dart and the third dart at the exact same shot. Stay tuned. We're still tied. Rick Smith coming to the board.
Incredible drama. Cannot believe that fell into the same miss twice. As we see Rick Smith now with a little bit of pressure here, but I think he's going to be a little bit more comfortable throwing at that big bullseye. And apparently 17s are free as far as fallouts are concerned, and he does come up with a big 117.
And what this has done is left him squarely on 500 points, a number divisible by 50. So 10 more bullseyes from here out of Eric Blackledge and Rick Smith, and we are done. Game over. Unless Robert and Dennis can really put something together to make them not get 10 darts. Oh, and Robert's going to give it his best shot as he puts the first 2 in the bullseye, but the last one only hits a 7, so 10 points down for Robert Talbot as big Eric Blackledge steps up to the board to make up for that 84 he threw last turn.
And for the listeners there and watchers at home on YouTube, if you'll look just over in the top right-hand corner, you will see Carrie Stevenson, who is Eric Blackledge's better half, and we can kind of watch her reaction to some of these darts as well.
Yeah, she absolutely lives through Eric's darts on every single one. But Dennis Sandin living through his own with 5 bulls, a big hat trick to match Eric's hat trick, still trailing by 10 points. Rick Smith comes back to the board, now looking to increase that 10-point lead. Whew, if he hits a hat trick here, 200 points, and they're going to look very good in winning this. But not going to hit the second dart, so a bullseye needed on the last. Only hits an 8, so 32.17 average for Rick Smith now. Robert Talbot might have an option of going for the 180 to leave 180. I got a feeling if Rick Smith would have had a hat trick, that would have been a no-brainer. But because he only threw 1 bull, probably not going to take that shot. Probably just going to put in 150 and hope that they get 9 more darts.
Well, and honestly, doing the math here, if Eric comes up and hits that $150, Rick Smith has missed a 124 before, and that's what he will be left with.
Well, Robert does not throw the hat trick, so down 29 points. Eric Blackledge will come to the board to set up Rick Smith. Oh, a double bull in the first dart. Shank into the 14 on the second dart, but a double bull in the third, so a real pretty 160 left for Rick Smith when he comes back up.
Could be a big finish here at the end of this leg. Dennis Sandin, though, going to try to make that 95 look good for his partner here, and that's what he leaves.
There is one player in this match that has won this event before. That's Dennis Sandin, showing why that happened with a 42.67 average. If Rick Smith does not take out this 160, I believe Robert will take out 95 and book his $20,000. So Rick won't do it as a miss into the 16, follows with the bullseye, 94 left, goes at the 18, only hits a single. So 95 coming for Robert at a shot at $20,000.
Wow, couldn't have played out any better for the drama. Here's the man who could have his money doubled all by himself. This is a $20,000 shot for this 95 coming in. He's directly in the pee hole with the first dart, leaving himself 45 points, which translates to a triple 15 for that money.
Wow, what a shot, Robert Talbot.
Cannot believe it. Great finish. 2 darts. Big shot. $20,000. Dennis Sandin, covering his mouth, wins $10,000. Your runners-up here, Eric and Rick, both go home with $5,000.
Wow, I can't even. I had to jump out of my seat on that one. What an amazing shot by Robert Talbot. Where were those darts this whole time? We would not have had to play a game of 7-1. Doesn't matter. He pulls it out when it matters. He's going to pocket $20,000. Dennis Sandin will get 10. Eric and Rick will get 5. But more. Also, if you see there on the right, that is the lady from Bullseye News. They're going to get a cover on Bullseye News as well as the women's champion. So big darts by Robert Talbot.
Yes, the winners of this event do get the cover of the Bullseye News. Also, the mixed triples or mixed doubles invitational. So Eric Gregory and his partner Sarah will also get that cover as well. Great darts. Big drama there at the end. Came down to a final leg. Couldn't have drawn it up any better. Here at the Tournament of Champions here in Kansas City, Missouri, put on by the PPD and their partners. Have to admit, had a blast this weekend.
Oh my goodness. This was an amazing event. How do you finish any better than a P-hole dead center and a triple 15 for $20,000?
And you know what? He throws with 5 darts, so he may just leave those in there and take the other 3 home.
I take my $20,000, I walk straight to the guy from Arachnid, I buy that board, and I never pull those darts out.
All right, that'll do it for us here on the live feed. We hope you enjoyed all of the drama here. Greatly appreciate everyone tuning in, and we will catch you again sometime soon.